All right, episode 9 of
Yes.
Exorcast. Yep, 9. Today we're going to be talking about a film called The Platform, and it is free on Netflix.
Yes.
Free if you're using somebody else's account.
Or yeah, you're paying for Netflix.
You're paying for Netflix. We get it on Netflix. We have no ads and things like
It's
that. You're paying
not.
for Netflix.
It's not free like Tubi, but it's streaming at least.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay because one person pays and 15 other people use the account. We know how this works.
Supposedly Netflix has been always trying to look for a way to get rid of that, but I don't think they'll ever actually succeed.
Unless they track IP addresses.
Ooh.
I don't even think they figured that
out. We did news last week. Last week. An hour ago. Last episode. So I don't think anything news happened, and I'm sure James still hasn't gotten his invoice for Severn.
No.
I don't know. It's like I'm glad I didn't take part in that, really, because I'm just impatient.
So someone on the Severn Facebook group actually did point out, they went, "Oh my God, I can't believe Combat Shock is out of stock," because I used to see that at the Severn tables for 2 years after they were selling it at conventions. Which, I'm going to leave that one alone.
Unfortunately, I didn't get the T-shirt with that. The only one I got was the one that come with the book and the piece of film.
Which, to be fair, I mean, getting any version of that apparently is super rare, and it's the one that everybody's like, I don't have that one.
Well, it don't look very good, though, is the only bad part about it. It's cool to have it, but if you have the old Trauma DVD, I wouldn't say it's a jarring difference. Of course, look how the film was shot, though.
Yeah. Trauma.
But, I think it was worth it just for the book, because the book is the script, but then it's also, his diary that he kept while he was filming every day. So, that's pretty interesting. That's almost worth the money alone to me, just because I find that stuff interesting. And I actually got a pretty good film clip. I have a clip of him just, standing there with the gun in the war, one of the war scenes.
That's
good. I was afraid I'd get, a clip of just a shot of a bush or something.
So I just watched Body Melt yesterday, and I'm pretty sure it was Dan's commander that recommended me get it from the Vinegar Syndrome sale, and it was something that I wasn't on my initial order, and I added it. Damn him.
I got it as well, but only because from everything I'd seen, on some level, it's supposed to be in a brain deadish vein, but not. So I was kind of like, it's got good effects probably, but
it's got decent effects.
Yeah.
It's no street trash.
No.
Yeah,
that's a high one.
I ran across this as a recommendation, looking up in the same circles of people talking about street trash and stuff like that. People's like, well, you need to see Body Melt. You need to see Body Melt. And I saw clips, of the gore in the movie and thought, well, this is awesome. And then for a long time, you couldn't really get it. And then when I finally got it, it was from the Australian release from Umbrella of Body Melt. And I remember when I watched it at first, I was like, that wasn't quite what I expected it to be. It's cool when people start melting, but everything else is pretty dull.
Not that many people melt.
No. And then, of course, then it gets to the American release from, was it Vinegar Syndrome, you said?
It was Scorpion first. Scorpion had it first, and then Vinegar. It was one of the many Katarina's Nightmare Theater releases.
Oh. Well, I still have the Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray. I think I give my Australian one to one of my friends. I don't know which one. But it wasn't what I thought it was going to be.
It was hard to follow. There was a ton of shit going on, and half of it didn't make sense. And then when they tried to pull it all back together, it's still still doesn't make any sense.
No. If that was Australia's answer to street trash, it failed.
I mean, personally, if I want to watch something that isn't street trash, but it's kind of like street trash, I'll just watch Slime City.
Yeah, Slime City.
It's not bad. And Chuck, I started watching from Vinegar Syndrome Volume 1. 5 films for 5 years. Started watching the Hot and Saucy Pizza Girls.
Oh, yeah.
And way more plot than I expected. I'll have to give it to them.
That's one thing. You'll notice most of those porns on there have a plot, which makes it all the more appealing, because I actually, unless you're one of the guys who just watch them one scene at a time, obviously, for some reason. But the plot helps.
I mean, it was an interesting plot. Like, pizza girls, somebody orders a pizza, they deliver it, short shorts, crop top, little penny skateboard. They deliver the pizza, and then each one of them's like a sexual favor, and then they get paid for that. But at the same time, there's like a southern fried chicken joint that's trying to do the same thing and take over.
Isn't that always the plot of that kind of movie? Some other company tries to take over.
In this case, a chicken place.
But it was, for the most part, it was entertaining. I didn't finish it, but
there's a vampire one on there it's pretty long at the tooth, but it's
Dracula
decent.
Sucks.
Maybe that's.
No, I think that one's a separate release they did.
There's a vampire one on there. It's pretty
well, they released all of these originally on DVD, and then they put them on the Blu-ray as a 5-pack, 2-disc. But I'm pretty sure Dracula Sucks is on one of the 2 Golden Age erotica sets. And Prisoner of Paradise, which I can only imagine is Nazi exploitation porn.
It's been a while since I watched it, so I'm not sure. My reviews are probably still up on the website, though, if you want to check it out.
Plug.
It may be. I don't know if it is, because my website's had 2 meltdowns. 2 of the Severin-esque meltdowns, I may add, so I don't know if they're still up there or not.
So you're saying your website is as successful as it's ever been?
Yeah. My website's actually doing pretty good these days. I think these videos, I actually post this show every week on there. And I think we're doing pretty good.
Chuck just did a channel update last night on his YouTube channel, and he totally forgot to mention Exorcast.
But I remembered after I stopped the video.
He stopped recording, probably went on and did stuff for hours, and then came back and was like, oh shit, Chris is going to yell at me. And then was just holding his phone up and was like, an Exorcast is back.
I finished it, and then I thought, wait a minute, I should have done an update on the show. And then I went back and did it though. So I
much appreciated, buddy.
I put the link down below. I'm gonna assume that the numbers are up.
I commented.
I've seen that.
All right, let's go ahead.
Let's get into this odd one, right? Like this film. I watched the English dub version of, by the way.
I went with the Spanish original language.
It wouldn't let me choose the Spanish, so I had to watch it dubbed.
My app did, so.
I didn't feel like reading at the time. So
understandable. I get you.
Because that's why Morgan didn't watch it, and then she came out like halfway through, and she's like, "What the fuck? You told me this was in Spanish." I said, "Well, it is a Spanish film, but apparently it's dubbed."
It feels to me like your old lady's having trouble with these movies we're watching here lately. Either they're miserable, or you knock her out of seeing half of one of them.
She's not been a fan of much.
How about next time, or not next time, because I think we have some stuff lined up for the next 5 episodes or so. But after that, how about you let her pick what we review?
We could probably do that. I mean, she's like, because that Amityville set only has 4 films in it. We watched all 4 of them. And she's like, what are we watching tonight? And I went, Amityville 9. And she's like, God damn it. Seriously? And I was like, no, we watched them all already. I'm sorry.
Are you going to purchase the Amityville vibrator to watch?
She actually said if the next one that we watch is not Amityville vibrator, she's going to be really pissed.
Well.
I put yesterday.
Just go ahead. Oh, go ahead. What did you do yesterday?
After Body Melt, I was like, oh, I know what I'm going to put on, because I recently watched that All the Colors of Giallo documentary, which is phenomenal, and it's a Severin title, and you need to get it. If you like Giallo, Argento, Fulci, Sergio Martino, Bava at all, you need to see this. But there's 4 hours of Giallo trailers. So I popped that in, and she's like, seriously? I said, yes. She's like, did you really just buy... Did you really just buy a disc that's 4 hours of Giallo trailers? And I said, no, I bought this whole sets and a documentary, and it's got all the colors of the dark in it, and blah, blah, blah. And I said, but I would.
Oh, to be fair, I mean, on my blog, I don't do it that often, but the last thing I wrote was a review of Trailer War, which was the Alamo Drafthouse release they did, God, almost a decade ago. And I did that because I'm planning for a while to just review trailer compilations because nobody does it. I have a shit ton of them.
How do you review those? I did it, but like, how is the proper way to do this?
So what I'm going to be doing basically is finding ones that cover areas. Like, spoiler for anyone who reads my blog, the next one I'm doing because of all of the current discussion of censorship. I was going to do a different one. I was going to do Trailer Trauma 1, 2, 3, and 4. But since everyone started talking about censorship, we're doing the Video Nasty sets. Yeah, as I say, let's talk about real censorship.
Well, those are good, too.
Oh, I know, and that's why. They're fantastic.
I was cleaning the house the other day, and I put in the Exhumed 20 years anniversary disc that they did. Jesse and from Diabolik, they do the Exhumed Film Fest up in New Jersey. There's a Philadelphia
area.
Philly. And it's like the second or third time I watched it, and there's a ton of trailers, but there's some good stuff, and it's just all films that they've showed at their festivals. So you've got like kung fu films, you've got horror films, and sci-fi, like legitimately everything. And I just discovered that there is a commentary track.
Oh, yeah.
With Jesse on it. And I'm like, well, shit, how did I not know that? I've had this thing for like 5 years.
Those are usually amazing.
I'm definitely going to go back and watch that.
On the Video Nasties ones, like the thing I enjoy the most is the British reviewers that have their little comments on the trailers in between.
One of the things that makes it work so well is that.
Yeah, a lot of them just trailer after trailer after trailer. So I like the ones that actually break it down and be like, well, I don't know why this is on the list, and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's very good in that way.
Which I have a lot of trailer compilations too, Kung Fu trailer compilations, the Video Nasties. There's several more that I've got that offhand I can't remember, but I mean, Severin put out a bunch. They put out. They did
Grindhouse
the Giallo.
Trailer Classics, Ozploitation, Kung Fu, 2 of those. Yeah. The Video Nasties ones. I think that's everything.
Yeah.
I'm a little mad about the Grindhouse Trailer Classics one because they were doing it in partnership with Nucleus, and Nucleus has done like 6 of those, and they only did 1 of them in America.
Well, if anybody out there is listening, I want to make her a trailer request because I'm kind of like an avid fan of these type of movies, even though they're usually pretty crappy. But I want a compilation of SOV movies, like trailers.
I'm sure that could be done by somebody.
Somebody needs to do that because I want to see all of them out there. I want them to do the deep cuts too, like dive into the old 50-pack Mill Creek put out years ago with all that stuff on.
I bought Garden Tool Massacre, Garden Shed Massacre, whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah.
You want to know why?
Why?
Because as I was watching the trailer to decide if I actually wanted to buy it, because I knew you were excited about it, Chuck.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got really awesome artwork.
Yeah.
Well, one of the characters has a Manchester United 1996 home jersey on.
Wow.
And I'm like, well, okay.
It's meant to be.
It was meant to be.
The sign.
And they ripped off the Burning cover, right?
Yeah, they kind of did, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. So
when's that ship?
I don't know. I think it's like they're really good. Like as soon as their stuff comes in, they ship them out. So you'll get it as soon as it's available. And SRS, even though if is it shot on video? Is it shot on video movie?
Yes.
Did you get the Blu-ray version?
I did.
You could have saved. I mean, there's only so much good quality you can get out of that.
They only offered Blu-ray and VHS.
Oh, they didn't do a DVD this time.
No.
Smart.
The VHS was very low quantity.
Oh, okay.
Of course.
Like 50 or 100, something like that. And I'm like, I'm not fighting for that. I don't care.
I just want to say I had no problem with SRS Cinema. That was a great company to work with. Me and Ron never had no spats. But, like the one thing I don't understand is why didn't we do a VHS of Door 1? Because it's the most obvious one to do a VHS of.
Yeah.
Right? After shipping, I paid just under $20 for that.
Really?
Shipped.
I thought they were like $30 most of the time.
No, it was $19.95 actually, and that included shipping.
Wow, that's actually a good deal. I didn't know that because usually their limited Blu-rays are like $30 unless they're on sale. Maybe I should look into some of this.
So, getting back to
what were we talking about?
We were exactly. So, but this week we were watching The Platform on Netflix. It's a Spanish movie. Just briefly, we're watching it because it was my suggestion because of Watch Mojo. Anybody else watch Mojo and their attempts at the 10 greatest horror movies you haven't seen, 10 more horror movies you haven't seen, 10 this, 10 that. Their lists.
I don't know what
I
that
haven't
is.
seen that.
So they do lists about literally everything under the sun, and then when one of them gets popular enough, they make another one. And a few weeks back, or a week or so ago, something like that, my wife pointed out that there was one that was called the top 10 horror movies of 2020 so far. And given the coronavirus, I'm like, what the heck could possibly be on that list? Have I heard of it? You know, like, their number one is Invisible Man. I have no comment on that because I've never seen it. But, you know, Blood Quantum was an honorable mention, for example. But
I'd put it on my top 10 so far.
On that list, they go, The Platform from Netflix. And I'm like, and I've never heard of this movie. And they start talking about it. I'm like, this is one of the most interesting concepts I've ever heard in a really long time. And basically what it is somewhere in random country X that apparently speaks Spanish, there is an incredibly tall building. And in this incredibly tall building, there is a bunch of one-room cells where they keep people, not necessarily people who have committed crimes or anything. They sometimes go in by voluntary choice. They keep them in there, and there's a big hole in the floor of every single room. And at a certain point during the day, from the top floor, where there is a 5-star restaurant where a kitchen makes everything you could possibly want in the world and puts it on this huge concrete platform. And then from that moment, it descends floor by floor all the way down through the building, one floor at a time. And when it stops on your floor, the idea is you get to eat for about 5 minutes tops. And then the platform moves again, and it goes to the next floor. And the building has hundreds of floors. And the idea behind it is, you know, if you're up at the top, you're eating great. If you're in the middle, maybe not so good. If you're at the bottom, you're going to have to figure something out. Every month, they move you to a different room, and you have a certain amount of time you're in there as a sentence if you can survive the whole thing. And into this, we throw a guy who decides he just wants to go in because apparently he wants to quit smoking and read a copy of Don Quixote. And he experiences all aspects of it, the highest highs, the lowest lows, and also has interactions with multiple cellmates as he has to get new ones many times for various different reasons, obviously.
So how's this platform moving?
It moves all the way down, and the assumption probably would be that there's somebody up top controlling it, basically. And then when it gets all the way to the bottom, it shoots back up to the top.
So magnet? Because there's like nothing levers.
There's nothing that moves it.
Right. It's just, there's nothing on top of it either. So that's the other part of it. It's the assumption basically is you don't really know how it does because there's no ropes on it or anything. You just kind of have to take it as writ that it kind of levitates between floors.
It don't really matter because it's all symbolism anyway.
Yes.
Correct. But here's one interesting thing. You get to take one item in with you, whether you're imprisoned there or you go in voluntarily. You take a single item of your choice, and it doesn't matter. They specifically say that people have brought in firearms, and his first cellmate had a butcher knife that you never have to that you never ever have to sharpen.
Yeah. Someone else is shown to have brought in a wiener dog.
That'd have been me. Like, I want to take my dog.
And he brings a book.
Yep.
He brings the book. Well, and it's like they're talking about you don't go from level to level, and the people above you are above you. They don't want to talk to you. They won't talk to you. They probably fuck with your food. They spit on you. They piss on you. Things like that. And then you do the same thing to the people below you. So it's like a vicious cycle, and it's really a metaphor for how humans fucking live in general.
Yeah, it's a gigantic class metaphor, basically, in about a million different ways.
Yeah, but you know the thing is like, I appreciate the creativity of this.
Mm-hmm.
I like the violence, because when it gets gory, it gets pretty gory and stuff.
Oh yeah.
But you know, I don't know. It's a little too left up to the viewer at the end for me a little bit, which I think I can put two and two together on what exactly is going on. Although when you figure out what they're fighting for and what they end up doing at the end, I'm not sure it's going to really make much of a difference. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
I don't disagree with
If
that.
anything, to make yourself feel better.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with you.
Somewhat accomplished.
Yeah.
And if there's one thing I take from it, it's that the word obviously can be used to an annoying level.
Mm-hmm. Obviously.
Yes. I give you all that softball there. I just do it to you. But like I said, the main guy, I like that character. I thought he was a good character.
He's got a lot of range.
There's the chick that's riding the thing up and down that may or may not be looking for a kid that may or may not exist, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they could have done more with that, maybe, than what they did. Like, I thought that was a little abrupt in its conclusion, you know. But I don't know. It's definitely different. I can see him probably remaking it at some point. You know, it feels like I had a Cube vibe with it. A little bit.
But, if you ever saw the movie Exam, I got that kind of vibe from it too.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever watch it again though.
I don't know if I'll watch it again. I did actually thoroughly enjoy it, just for the overall metaphor and idea of it. But at the same time, I still have like a lot of questions as to why the fuck it's happening this way. And I know I shouldn't, and I should just take it for what it is and what they're trying to show. But I can't. Can't do it.
Yeah.
It's hard.
That's exactly what I
want to know how the fucking platform moves, goddammit.
You want to know how the platform moves. You want to know, not to give too many spoilers, but you want to know how a specific person could have been so utterly misguided as to put themselves in a particular situation and not realize that shit was fucked up, considering how long they've been involved.
Exactly.
You know?
And Netflix actually gives a warning for gore, and it says that the gore is severe in this.
And I believe what they're referring to in that regard is not so much the gore itself, but what the gore is in service of, as in what it involves.
Sure.
Well, I guess like your average Netflix person probably isn't used to this type of violence. Probably.
No.
And how did we end up with 2 dog movies?
That was not intentional.
I had to cover my little buddy's eyes.
Uh-oh.
Another thing about it, you mentioned, like, I feel exactly the same in terms of that. I want to like it more than I did. I loved it. It's very an original idea, but when it ended, I'm just like, you kind of left it half finished, basically, in some ways, in terms of where it's at. And I think maybe that's part of the point of the metaphor. You know, I also think that they bring up certain points, let's say race, and they bring them up real quick and get rid of them real quick, basically, just to do it. You know, there's a lot of interesting. It's very much a movie that's a lot of interesting small bits coming together, make an interesting big thing. Whether it be watching someone over the course of a month completely and totally change their perception of this whole thing they're in, or I mentioned the range that the main actor has. My God, the man is a completely different person on some level in every single cell he's with.
Yeah.
You know, and then some of the, like you mentioned, the gore is definitely there. The Netflix warning also mentions nudity. Yeah, but I mean, not really very much.
No, and you know what?
It's tasteful, basically. It's intended as part of the story.
True. And it's brief.
Yeah.
At least all the times that I can recall it.
Yeah, exactly.
And in some points, it's very humorous.
Intended to be, yeah. A little bit.
But this is, and when we're talking about like this big, like think like oversized dinner table, like rich person size dinner table. Yeah, a banquet table, like the fucking table in Batman, like the original Batman.
Yes, yeah.
Where they can't hear each other talk and they're so far away.
Yeah.
And it's full of like not what Donald Trump feeds, world Super Bowl champions. Yeah, they're not eating like shit food. This is all gourmet, delicious looking food.
Supposedly, they show at one point when the main character is being interviewed about whether or not to go in. He's told that he's asked what his favorite food is, and is told that whatever his answer is, they will add it to the menu.
Correct.
Basically.
Yeah, and also they also say if everybody eats their portion like you should, there's enough food for everybody.
Supposedly, yeah.
But nobody ever does that.
Right. No, because when somebody can be on level whatever, fucking down at the bottom, like in the hundreds, and get like a handful of rice a day, if that, and then they're going to be on level 2 the next month, that first day they're going to gorge themselves.
It's fuck you, I got mine, the movie.
Yeah. Well, there's even a scene where like the head chef or who he's like walking around and he's holding, it's like a fucking cupcake, and he picks off a hair on it and he's slamming, like fucking shoving it in people's faces and screaming at them. You can't hear what he's saying, but he's pissed off because
what he's trying to do is he's trying to find out whose hair it is.
Yeah, but it's like it's a fucking prison.
Yeah, there are moments where they basically say that they develop a grand plan at some point, and at one point someone says, "Who's your grand plan for?" And he's like, "The administration." She's like, "The administration doesn't care." Like the higher ups, people running this shit don't give a damn.
There's a few gross moments in this movie, but I think by far the worst is what they do to the black guy.
Yes, it is.
That's terrible. I didn't expect it. I expected something to happen in that scene, but did not expect that to be what happened in that
scene. And listen, who goes into this place and says they want a rope?
Yeah, that's
one item.
Yeah, that was a bit weird too.
Because most people going in there, they don't know how it works. Like, you're not necessarily told, like, hey, there's a fucking hole in the floor and in the ceiling, and food's going to come down through it.
And the thing is, you know that because the very first thing in the movie is our main character wakes up and has to have the whole thing explained to him by his cellmate.
And he went in voluntarily. You think they're going to tell prisoners about it if they don't tell somebody who goes in voluntarily? And somehow he's going in for 6 months voluntarily to read a book, quit smoking, and he's getting an accredited degree.
Yeah, it's a degree, yeah.
So does he have nowhere else to be?
I guess. That's
like he ain't got a house that's got to be paid for or something like that? Like, just going away for 6 months is no problem, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he probably thought, well, if I could live in squalor for 6 months and get my degree, it would save me, even if he lost his apartment, lost all of his possessions, it'd still be cheaper than paying for a fucking degree.
Yeah, it was a very, symbolic film, and it's got a lot of social commentary and all that stuff. It's creative, and it has its moments, but I don't know at the end of the day if I'd say this is my type of movie, you know? Although, I do find some of the things they bring in with them amusing. The guy brought the knives, the self-sharpening knives. That's probably pretty smart.
It was very well put. That was very well introduced.
Of course, it's like he's just got like a month to go at the point in the movie, don't he? At one point, he just has a month to go.
Like his last level that he is on is his final month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you feel like he'd be smarter than he ended up being, as well,
And then our guy makes it to his. Well, he makes it 5 months. So like the big ending.
The next month would have been his month. Yeah.
Right.
Of course, then we have a very left open to whatever ending, which looks like we can't spoil it. Obviously, we'll have to talk about it at some point. What you guys think about it? Pretty sure I know what happens here, and I don't know if this is what I would call a satisfying ending.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just too open. Like, this is the kind of movie where you can have the definitive bad ending, they have the definitive positive ending, and even you can have an ending that's open. But it's better if you're going to have an open ending to give a concept of how it's open, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, at this point, at the end of the movie, all you know is what's happening. And literally anything could happen from that point on. And there's no, in any way, shape, or form, process you can make to say what's going to happen. And this movie kind of needed more than that.
Yep.
What's that movie where Stallone is he breaks out of prisons?
Escape Plan?
They need to do an Escape Plan 3 to be in this place.
There is an Escape Plan 3.
Fuck. They need to, because I knew there was a 2.
Probably without Stallone in it.
Yeah.
They need to do an Escape Plan 4 with Stallone and Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
And it needs to be in this place.
I don't remember.
I feel like they aren't good for small room movies.
Is Stallone in all 3 of those movies?
I've only seen the first one. I've only seen the first one because before you started doing voodoo codes, you gave me that voodoo code.
Yeah, I did, didn't I? Yep. I think Batista's in the second or third one.
He's in one of them.
But no, yeah, that's back when I used to give away codes like an idiot. Wish I had some of those back.
He actually is in all 3 of them.
Right.
Stallone's in all 3 of them, and Batista is in 2 and 3.
Wow. So Schwarzenegger is the only one that didn't come back.
Yeah, that one also has...
his character was done at the end of it, though. The job was to get him out.
There's the thing. The third one, though, you swap out your Schwarzenegger, etc., for 50 cents.
50 cents.
Or as the box cart says, Curtis Jackson.
You know, it kind of hurts me to see Stallone making these movies. You know, it's like we know he's better than this. Although he just made Rambo 5. Yeah, which don't feel like a Rambo movie, by the way.
I haven't watched it yet.
My beef with that is he don't have long hair. How do you have Rambo don't have long hair?
It was old.
Get old.
Yeah, but come on, it's like it looks more like they don't feel like it feel like Rocky in a Rambo movie instead of Rambo. Grandpa would have man bun, right? I mean,
he said he wants to do a sequel to Cobra.
I don't know. I think they need to first work on giving us the unrated version of Cobra before they worry about any sequel to Cobra.
Fair.
Which you can get it at Walmart now, by the way. The Scream Factory has Cobra, Big Trouble in Little China, Candyman, and a couple more random like collector's editions that have popped up at Walmart.
I saw Big Trouble, but that's the only thing. That's the only Scream Factory title I saw when I was there the other day.
Some have slipcases, some don't. They also, some stores have the Omen box set and the Fly box set.
Mine had, well, of course, I bought the Omen set for $30, $35. And that's half the price of what Scream Factory sells it for.
Candyman is a steal for $10. I mean, if you can live...
I pre-ordered Candyman.
Yeah, I mean, if you can live without a slipcase, $10 ain't bad for a Scream Factory collector's edition, which... I've always noticed most of the time it's the movies they put out that was out before, although there's a few exceptions, like Candyman's an exception. But most of the time it's the movies that's already been put out on Blu-ray 100 times that they put out in Walmart. But I hope we see more of these eventually, come to Walmart. I like just being able to go to the store and buy one, which I get, obviously I get most Screen Factories anyway, but I also like having the option to just go down and buying something if I don't get it. Target ain't got none of those, does it? Like, I go Target.
Target doesn't have shit for movies.
Not anymore.
They're still trying to sell their Stranger Things VHS sets.
I had to go to Target today because it was the closest place that sold Amazon Fire Sticks. And I canceled my cable today and went with Hulu Live. And the kids couldn't watch TV in the room tonight when they went to sleep. So I went out and bought a Fire Stick. And I looked at their movies, and they've got stuff that I want, but it's $10, $15 more than I can get at other places.
Should have went with Sling TVs, which should have went.
It's hard to get every channel that I want in the same place. Like YouTube
the thing
TV.
with Sling is you end up paying as much for cable as you would otherwise.
Right. So like the only thing that I really need is Cartoon Network, Disney XD, and Boomerang for the kids. The only thing Morgan watches is Investigation Discovery, because eventually she's going to kill me and perfectly hide the body.
She's going to shoot you with some ice bullets.
And I just need NBC
FX.
Sports so I can watch, well, FXX for Sonny, but
are
NBC
you not
Sports.
Getting Fox, USA, and TNT for your wrestling needs?
I mean, yeah, those channels are all going to be in there, but those others, like Boomerang, isn't offered with YouTube at all, like YouTube TV. And that's got even cartoons on it that, of course, that we grew up with. That my kids love. So that makes it very exciting for me to like sit down and watch Tom and Jerry or, you know, original Scooby-Doo or something with them. I mean, hell, I was even Everly, because of that new Scoob movie, and it's got all the Hanna-Barbera characters in it. She just found out who Captain Caveman is, and we were watching Captain Caveman cartoons.
There you go.
You know,
and I'm saving like $60 a month.
My Voodoo account.
There you go.
And he bought that. He bought the 4K of that on my Voodoo account. And
what do you buy?
Way early. It's like
Scoob, I think.
That Scoob movie. Yeah.
Oh, I bought it through iTunes, but it showed up in my Voodoo because I've been linked.
Yeah, it's like nothing that I have that's iTunes only code shows up on my Voodoo, and I've got them linked, so I don't understand what's going on.
iTunes only.
You're supposed to give me all your iTunes only stuff, Chuck.
Movies Anywhere. Well,
Movies Anywhere fucking sucks.
Too, okay.
This is why I use Tubi now. Yeah.
You did give me Addams Family. It was iTunes only.
It was, yeah, and see, but then I got Movies Anywhere, which is already connected to my Voodoo. Okay, so of course, you know, then Movies Anywhere connects everything together, right? So that's how I have iTunes hooked in, but like iTunes, nothing from iTunes. Everything shows up on iTunes, but nothing that's iTunes only shows up on the others.
Right.
Which bothers me, and I don't know what's going on.
I actually bought Scoob on Amazon Prime because I had a $10, like during quarantine, I was ordering a bunch of shit that I didn't need right away. They're like, oh, if you can wait an extra 2 days on it, we'll give you a $1.99 credit for whatever, like digital stuff, like music or movies. And I'm like, yeah, sure. And I only ended up paying $10 for Scoob.
Yeah.
But it shows up in Voodoo. I had to go into Movies Anywhere and sync Prime to it so it would show up in my Voodoo. But the app Movies Anywhere is the only thing that you can use on the Fire Stick or Fire TV, which I have down here and then now in the kids' room. And I'd say 70% of my movies don't show up in it.
It's because they don't have a deal with Lionsgate.
No.
I used to use Movies Anywhere, and eventually, suddenly, I lost half my movies, and a little thing popped up on the bottom that said, Lionsgate does not presently have a deal with Movies Anywhere.
But so that's why we try to use Voodoo on everything.
My goal is 1,000 movies in Voodoo. I think I'm up to what, 700 or 800?
I haven't been on there in a while. I haven't been on your Voodoo in probably 2 months.
Well, you missed Cop and a Half, which is on there.
I want to get on there and watch The Hunt.
Yeah, well, that was my free movie I got with The Hunt, because whenever, like, the last 2 Universal movies that come out, they give you a list of free movies to pick from, and it was crappy movies for the most part. But I was like, okay, I'll take Cop and a Half, and I think the other one's like a Mystery Science Theater movie or something like that.
Well, yeah, Universal, my Jaws 4K and The Invisible Man 4K both told me they were going to give me free movies. When I logged into it, it told me I didn't have enough credits to get free movies.
Of course not.
My Jaws, oh my God. Okay. I went to redeem my code, and I redeemed it as far as I'm aware, and I still don't have a 4K on Voodoo, and I don't know why.
Mine converted to 4K. And that movie looks fucking great in 4K. The kids and I watched it on 4th of July.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little it's more natural look than the old Blu-ray was. The Blu-ray was like all, you know, bursting everywhere with bright colors, and this is like more natural. So, you know, I can see some people definitely prefer this over the other one, which kind of looked plastic almost because it was so amped up.
But you know, it's not on Voodoo, the platform.
It might be.
It's a Netflix exclusive right now, actually.
No, I thought maybe you could buy it on Voodoo.
You can get a Blu-ray of it if you go to Stinky Tuna. Stinky Tuna's got a bootleg of it.
Yeah, bootleg, exactly.
Yeah, but it's a nice done bootleg though.
But anyway,
that was a good wrap around there to get back on track to what we originally tried to do there, James.
Thank you. I tried.
So I'm giving it a 2.5, folks. 2.5.
I'm gonna give it a 3.5. I like the idea. I like the look. I like the performances. Just there's way too many open-ended questions it leaves.
Yes. And because of more open-ended questions and, you know, the girl is the offering, I'm giving it a 3. I needed just a little bit more out of it.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong, I really, really enjoyed it. I think our main character and even his, I can't think of the name, but his first cellmate are both outstanding characters.
Oh, yeah.
But I have to go with a 3.
We all basically recommend it on some level just to watch, but it's definitely not for everyone.
Yeah.
I think it's an important film just because of what it's trying to accomplish and the different demographics and society. It's definitely something that there's an issue in the world, but I needed just a little bit more.
Yeah, it's incomplete.
Yep.
And I need to know, like, once the platform hits the very bottom, because we've seen it hit the very bottom, who cleans the slab off?
I believe the implication is that it gets taken all the way back up and then gets cleaned off. Because since she's lying on it.
But it's flying so fast that you would think shit would fly off.
I mean...
Who knows? Who can say?
My degree is in chemistry, sir, not physics.
Yeah. So I give it a 3.
Yeah, they're all in hell anyway, right?
Wrong twist.
Because
that is not a spoiler. That is not implied in the film. Chuck just is totally fucking lost here.
Chuck's just talking about Antrim again.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I just like there's mathematical equations to go with the room numbers that you could say. You can make a case that they're in hell.
Really?
I'm not sure how, but okay.
There's 333 rooms.
With 2 people in them?
Okay. Yes.
Where'd you read that, Chuck? You're not that smart.
What are you saying? You saying I read the IMDb or something?
I'm saying you read something.
You would have done research. There you go.
So, spoiler, there's 333 rooms.
Yeah, bit of a spoiler.
Well, I mean, that's not much of a spoiler, really. I mean, it's just, there's a lot of rooms.
So, yeah, the platform. Watch it on Netflix. We all recommend it.
Watch the platform on the Netflix platform.
So, next week, well, we're actually going to take a week off, but that won't affect you. That won't affect you guys at all because this episode won't even be out by then. And when we come back, we'll be taking a look at the new first 2 releases from Cauldron Films.
Yep.
American Rickshaw and Abracadabra. That'll give Chuck 2 weeks to get them in.
Well, you have to message your buddy Jesse and tell him to send them my way.
Some of us are already half ready there.
Did you see what he posted yesterday on Facebook?
I didn't. Something about a vacation, though?
No, he said he's tired of people asking him for free shit to put on their to review or unbox on their Facebook or their YouTube page, and he said, "Fuck your YouTube page."
Well,
I wanted to be like, well, man, I just posted an unboxing on my YouTube page because I did. I did pay for it. I will never take anything free from Jesse because he's done me solids for years. He held stuff for me without knowing me when I was on my honeymoon. He got a bunch of hard boxes in, and I sent him an email from the airport, and I'm like, hey, man, blah, 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 I'm going to Hawaii for my honeymoon, and I don't know what my service will be like there, if I'll have any service, and blah, 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 I would like these. And he's like, No rush. Enjoy your honeymoon. They'll be here for you when you're back. And that just sparked our friendship.
He sold Morbid on his website, you know.
He did. You can still search for it, but it's temporarily unavailable.
It's unavailable for good. It's out of print.
Temporarily.
You can reprint it, though.
Yeah.
You've got the rights back.
There was a fiasco with the Blu-ray that came out, you know. There was 30 copies of the Blu-ray, all in full screen instead of a widescreen form.
Whose fault was that?
Not mine.
I think we talked about that on here already.
I don't know if we did or didn't. Well, we're 9 shows deep now. We're repeating ourselves, I guess.
Maybe.
I don't know.
It was your friend that his house burnt down, right?
Yeah, his house burnt down. So I guess that's gone now, because I assume he didn't save his masters when he ran out of the house. That's bad. And that ain't meant as a joke, by the way. I mean, if that sounds like that's not meant as a joke at all. That's terrible.
No, never want to hear someone losing everything they have.
Mm-hmm. I mean, although I have told my friends and family that if this house caught on fire, the first thing that's going to happen is that window is going to be kicked in with the shelf that's got the Arrow Blu-rays going flying out of it. And then the Scream Factory gets tossed out, and then I hop out.
You going to leave everything else, though?
Leaving your action figures in there?
They're by the window. So it just depends.
Shut him.
It just depends on how bad things are going, right?
Speaking of action figures,
they're back on the shelf.
I need Stay Puffed. I've got all 4 Ghostbusters. I've got Slimer. I need Stay Puffed.
They're all back on the shelves now again. Someone said they removed a slogan off the top of the package.
They did. So up here,
yeah.
They said, "Who you going to call?"
Yeah.
And that is gone.
Ryan's got the Stay Puff and Slimer that says who you going to call, but he don't have his is just like yours. The other ones are.
My 4 Ghostbusters are like this. My Slimer says who you going to call, and I don't have a Stay Puffed. And frankly, I don't give a fuck if it says it on there or not. I just want to find him.
Well, I know where a Stay Puff is.
Do you?
And if I see it this weekend, I'll get it for you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, if it's still there. Of course, I've been on the hunt. Now, these boxes the figures are no longer in them because I got them on display. But the new G.I. Joe figures are out.
Chuck did an unboxing for the first 2.
That's right. Snake Eyes and Destro, which, that's the coolest 2 out of the 5 that's out so far. Although I think I may pick up a Scarlet this weekend because, I don't know, I'm going to get them all. Because I do wish they'd have done a retro line of those, like the 3.5-inch ones.
Chuck
I had the fridge.
Created a slew of collectors by taking a Chase figure of Carmella out of the package.
Okay. The WWE Chase figures are like the worst Chase figures ever because they're everywhere.
Of course.
They're everywhere. Like the Five Below had like 3 of the Macho Man Chase variations. They're not limited. Of course, I'm gonna have a hard time keeping up funds the next couple months because the AEW figures are coming out, which I do get some for review apparently. So knock on wood for that. The remake of the Masters of the Universe figures are coming out. More G.I. Joe figures in the fall. So, it's rough. And, that don't even count like the movies that I want to get if I don't get them sent to me.
Heavy is the crown.
Yeah, I'm going to make a Diabolik order, and then I'm going to have to take a break from buying movies. Because Vinegar Syndrome and the Severin.
I haven't bought. Yeah. I buy, for the most part, I buy like the cheap stuff if I buy movies because Family Video is usually pushing stuff out pretty cheap, so I get a lot of Family Video stuff.
I also regret buying Death Warmed Up.
It's not very good.
It's
But it's one of those you want to just have though,
It's fucking bad. You know what I like better? I like Night Killer better than Death Warmed Up.
Oh snap!
I'm a little mixed on this one. I watched this today. I'm a little mixed on it. That's not coming in.
It's blurry.
I think it's because I got my background blur turned on. That's because I got my black background blur turned on. But for some reason, that's not coming in there.
Well, stop moving it.
Stop moving it. We got it. You're good.
There it is.
Revenge of the Living Dead girls, everyone.
And it has a pretty big twist. So
I
appreciate that.
I really wanted to add that to my orders through Severin, but it was like $25, and it's going to be cheaper on Amazon and through Diabolik when it comes out, because it comes out on the 28th.
It's the best thing to get out of their stuff for this month. That's just the regular stuff, because the Mondo Bellardo and the what is the other one? The Wild World of Jane Mansfield. Not much, not my cup of tea.
Something weird stuff, basically.
Well, Jane Mansfield is someone that sounds like her, falsely narrating footage of her.
Yeah. But there is bonus movies on both of those, so but they're still not very good. So
I would like to take the opportunity to point out the only reason I know anything about Death Warmed Up is because I once reviewed Wound, a movie by the same director. I should point out that movie ends with a sequence in which someone is birthed fully.
I've heard of that.
Fully formed and adult from a giant womb. For no reason, it's just there at the end of the movie.
And for that reason, did that.
Yeah, but apparently so did David Blythe. So.
Well, the only reason I picked it up because it like the synopsis sounded great, and I know it's the guy that like inspired Peter Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
The Wolf. It's not good.
Well, when we getting Peter Jackson's splatter movies on Blu-ray? I mean, I know we
finish 4K restoring them.
Oh, I wonder who they're going to come through. Vestron?
You know, if it did, it would be a good idea.
I'm just happy Vestron titles are cheaper now.
I wonder if them being cheaper, they're going to skimp on any special features or anything.
They've announced they're definitely putting special features on Shivers. They've said they've got them lined up. They just haven't announced what they are yet, but they are definitely putting special features on Shivers.
Because I just picked up The Gate.
Out of those two Shivers, oh, yeah, The Gate. That's a good one.
The Gate is fucking loaded with special features, finally.
I've got everything. I need Slaughter High and I need Maximum Overdrive, but I got everything else.
I just bought the ones that I really wanted because that shit's so expensive. Like, I'll probably buy Little Monsters. I remember liking it as a kid, but I think my kids will like it.
I haven't seen it since I was a kid.
Same.
Yeah. Well, Maximum Overdrive, I wanted it, but even when Walmart got it, which I was completely surprised Walmart had it, but they wanted $30 at Walmart for it.
That was the going price for it, for any of them.
Still is usually.
Yeah. But I'm really excited about Shivers, though. If I had to just pick one, Shivers would be the one, because I love Shivers.
I mean, you can get both of them for the price of one Blu-ray, so.
Mm-hmm. Why not, right?
Right.
And with that endorsement for Vestron Video.
So that's going to be the end of this episode. Went on a little longer than normal because we went on about other shit. And Chuck's house burning down and saving action figures.
Yep.
Yes.
So, thanks for watching. We'll be back soon with some Cauldron Films titles. Share, subscribe, like, do all that fun shit that you're supposed to do on YouTube. And we'll see ya.